January 1945. The Philippines. In a Japanese prison camp called Cabanatuan, 500 American prisoners are dying. Starvation, disease, execution. The Japanese know General MacArthur's forces are coming, and they have orders. Kill the prisoners before anyone can rescue them. The camp sits 30 miles behind enemy lines. 8,000 Japanese troops surround it. No roads in, no way out. The U.S. Army has one chance, one unit. 6 men on foot through enemy territory, a mission that sounds impossible. But here's what the Japanese didn't know. These 6 men were part of the most lethal reconnaissance team in the Pacific War. A unit that would run 138 missions behind enemy lines and never lose a single man. This is the story of the Alamo Scouts, the unit with a perfect record. This is Forgotten Fronts. General MacArthur has a problem. Every time his forces land on a new island, they're walking blind. No intelligence. No idea what's waiting in the jungle. Japanese troops are dug in. Hidden artillery, minefields, ambushes. Men are dying before the first objective. So MacArthur makes a decision. He needs eyes on the ground. A new kind of soldier. Elite scouts who go ahead of the invasion, unseen, unheard, mapping defenses, counting enemy troops, finding weak points. He calls them the Alamo Scouts. Selection was brutal. Volunteers only. Then came the tests. Night navigation through dense jungle. Swimming miles in open ocean. Living off the land for days. Hand-to-hand combat. Silent kills. Radio ops under fire. Most washed out in the first week. The few who made it became ghosts. Here's how a mission worked. 6 men, sometimes fewer, inserted by submarine or small boat, usually at night. They'd paddle to shore in rubber rafts, hide the boats, and vanish into the jungle. From that moment, they were alone. No backup and no rescue if things went wrong. Their orders were simple. Get in, gather intelligence, get out. Without the Japanese ever knowing they were there. Kwajalein Atoll, January 1944. 4 Alamo Scouts crawl through the undergrowth for 3 days, photographing bunkers, counting artillery pieces, sketching maps by flashlight. At one point, they're 20 feet from a Japanese patrol, close enough to hear them talking. The scouts freeze. Not a breath, not a sound. The patrol passes. The Japanese never realized they were being watched. The intel they brought back saved hundreds of lives in the invasion that followed. That was mission number 7. They still had 131 to go. The numbers sound impossible. 138 missions. 2 years. 0 casualties. In a war where recon units had 50% casualty rates, the Alamo Scouts had none. How? 3 reasons. Selection only the best. Men who could think, not just shoot. Training. They drilled until movement became instinct. 6 men could communicate without a word. They could navigate by stars, move through jungle without breaking a twig. discipline. No heroics, no unnecessary risks. If a mission felt wrong, they aborted. The intelligence wasn't worth a body count. Lieutenant William Nellist, one of the originals, put it simply, we weren't trying to be brave. We were trying to be invisible. But their greatest mission came in January 1945, the raid on Cabanatuan. Inside that camp, 512 prisoners. Most were survivors of the Bataan Death March. 3 years in captivity, starving, dying 4 per day. And the Japanese command issued the order: execute the prisoners. Before MacArthur's army arrives, U.S. intelligence intercepted it. They had a week, maybe less. Cabanatuan was 30 miles behind enemy lines. 4 guard towers, machine guns, barbed wire, surrounded by 8,000 Japanese soldiers. A direct assault would kill everyone. So they called the Alamo Scouts. January 27th, 6 scouts inserted near the camp. Their mission: reconnaissance only. No one knew they were there. They crawled for 2 days through rice paddies and elephant grass, getting within 100 yards of the fence. They counted guards, timed patrols, mapped every inch of the perimeter. At night, they could hear the prisoners coughing in the dark. They radioed back the intel, then stayed to guide the rescue team in. January 30th, 121 U.S. Rangers, 250 Filipino guerrillas, 6 Alamo Scouts at the point. The Scouts went first, cut the fence, silenced the guards, marked the path. Then chaos. The Rangers stormed in, machine guns, grenades, prisoners shouting in disbelief. Most were too weak to walk. The Rangers carried them. Filipino guerrillas fought off Japanese reinforcements, trying to reach the camp. The Scouts held the flanks, guiding everyone out, through rice paddies, across rivers, 30 miles back to friendly lines. It took 2 days. All 512 prisoners made it out alive. The Alamo Scouts, still perfect. 0 casualties. When the war ended, the Alamo Scouts went home. No parades, no headlines. Their missions were classified, their stories sealed. Decades passed. In the 1980s, a few surviving scouts started talking. Historians began digging. The truth came out. 138 missions across the Pacific, mapping enemy lines, rescuing prisoners of war, calling in airstrikes, capturing officers. Never caught, never lost a man. In 2013, the unit finally received the Presidential Unit Citation. Old men stood at attention one last time. Their record still untouched. Perfect. Here's why their story matters. War is loud. We remember the big battles, the explosions, but wars are won quietly too, by men who move unseen, by intelligence that saves lives before the first shot, by discipline stronger than fear. The Alamo Scouts proved that the best soldiers aren't always the loudest. They're the ones who disappear into the jungle, finish the mission, and never need anyone to know their names. 138 missions, 0 losses, 500 lives saved at Cabanatuan. They didn't win with firepower. They won with patience, precision, and the courage to go where no one else would. That's why their record is perfect. Not because they were lucky, because they were that good. If you ever visit Fort Sam Houston in Texas, there's a small memorial there. Names carved in stone most people walk past without noticing. But that's okay. The Alamo Scouts never cared about recognition. They cared about results. Thanks for watching. If stories like this, if the unseen missions that change the course of wars, hit you the way they hit me, subscribe. Drop a like if this one made you think. And if you know a forgotten story buried in the past, tell me in the comments. I'm always looking for the next forgotten front. Until next time, remember the ones nobody remembered.